Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us on Be Inspired. Be Inspired is a video series where I'm interviewing women that are making a difference with their gifts and their talents to help others live better. And it is my joy today to introduce you all to my dear friend of 17 plus years, I believe now, Christine Van Bloem. Christine, I know. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. And it's so good for us that we've reconnected again after all this time. And I'm just delighted that you're here.
Thank you so much, Liz. I'm so excited. I love watching what you're doing. And now I'm like, oh, look at me being with Liz. I love it.
You're so cute. Well, great. Well, let's get started. And I want you to talk about you. Share a little about your family, where you live, and a little bit about what you're currently doing.
It's so funny. I'm so sick of me all being inside for a year, right? So I live in absolutely wonderful, fantastic Frederick, Maryland, which is just the most charming town. And I've been here for just shy of 25 years. I have just a terrific husband, and I have two kids who are grown-ish. I have a daughter who's graduating college. I like to say 4 more rent payments, but I have just adopted this place and I love it so much. Moved here from New York City. And I'll be honest, the first couple of years I was here, I was just devastated, hoping to go back to the city someday. But I live in just such a terrific little place that I feel like I just got super lucky with it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, share a little bit about, we met at the United States Personal Chef Association convention. I can't even remember which one it was, if it was St. Louis or Kansas City, but tell me a little bit about that journey from personal chefing and then morphing into your kitchen studio.
Oh, so I had worked in advertising in New York City, but not one of the cool advertising jobs, like one of the stupid advertising jobs. And when I was there, I had decided to go to culinary school, and it was before culinary school had like the cachet that it has now. But I went at night and it was so terrific. And after we moved here, I immediately jumped back into advertising and marketing. And it took me a little while. And then we decided, the company and I decided I wouldn't go there anymore. And I started a personal chef business. I kind of been getting it going under the radar. And I just love food and I love people. And one of the things I noticed, the most fun times I would have personal chefing, and I bet you were like this too. I loved it when the clients were there. Like I had some clients that I just, like I'm still in touch with some of them, just wonderful people. And that was really where I got the charge from it. So I decided to start teaching. And I kind of always wanted, from the moment I was in culinary school, I wanted to start teaching. And I just started doing it on my own. And after a couple of years, I opened a little recreational cooking school that was marvelous. And it took forever to get it really going. And I had it for 15 years at a location here. And we would pull people from 2-3 hours away for our classes. But it took a while to get to that point. And once I felt like we were really in good shape and we were kind of coasting along, I mean, just amazing staff, great instructors, had it all going, and COVID. So that's, heartbreaking. And I tried to get through it. My therapist and I are working through it.
I love it.
I ended up kind of losing my lease. It was dramatic. Losing the lease, losing the space, making the decision not to go back into the space because everything was so unknown. And we've been offering online classes ever since. So for just shy of a year now.
Great. Awesome. Well, I know that, you've just done such a great job at pivoting, and that we haven't even shared yet, but I do want to bring up, because you've shared with me and we talked about this, that it was okay that, that you did have kind of a significant health event happen, and how then you've kind of taken that under your reins and kind of, probably change your focus on a lot of things, in addition to where you're going, which of course we'll have you talk about your blog as well. But share a little bit about what that was like, Christine, what you went through, because I think our audience would like to hear this.
Oh, so I like to keep things pretty dramatic. So it's so funny. I always think I'm such a drama queen, but I'm really not. I'm really like, whenever something's really wrong, I try to go under the radar a little. But I had, we were all having a traumatic summer last year because everybody's going through stuff. But I should have known when I broke my ankle playing pickleball that it was like a harbinger of doom coming my way, because that hurt so much. I was really surprised. And I had just gotten, I was in one of those really tall boots forever. And I had just gotten out of it and was starting to drive. And my husband had a stroke. So, COVID, can't go to the hospital, all that stuff. And then I had to, like, within 2 weeks, I had to shut down the business and move everything. I now have a cooking school in my basement. Mm-hmm. And then about 2.5 weeks later, I had a heart attack.
I mean, and dealt all of it at once. I mean, really.
I know, it's so funny. And people are just like, when I tell them, the cycle of events, they're just like, what? And it's like, yeah, it all really happened.
You can't make it up, Christine. You can't.
Gosh, and who would want to? Oh right. My gosh, yeah. What misery. So I had a heart attack, and it was, I did the thing that ladies do where I was trying to be like cool about it, right? Like, how we joke around about man flu, and my husband gets a cold and he thinks he's dying. Right. And he's a good guy. But, I'm like out there hustling and doing all this stuff. And I'm like, it's fine. I'm fine. I'll be fine. I'll just take some aspirin. I'll be fine. And I ended up having a 100% blockage in my LAD, which is basically, let's go for the drama. That's the widowmaker. So because I had it in the middle instead of at the top, that's what gave me the extra hours I needed to survive. So yeah, it's been, it's kind of a reckoning, right? Because I love to make all the jokes about being buried with a number 10 can of nacho cheese and, all this stuff. But it really is kind of a reckoning because I'm young for these issues, and I don't want to go down like that.
No.
So it's a lot.
Right. Right. Well, I just, you are just such an inspiration, and you always, I just love how you write, which then we'll get to that, because you've now taken your morphing into now expressing yourself through writing. You started a blog, which I will tell all of my audience here that we'll have more details about that in the chat later, as she's getting more serious about an actual place where you can actually sign up to get her blog. She's a really good writer, and I think that you would all enjoy that. But tell us about what kind of gave you that idea to start doing that.
So I do like to write. I really do like to write. I'm very conversational. So if you're looking for scientific writing, I am not your girl. But I do like to write a lot. And I had just I had this idea about doing something since my kids are growing. So I started this empty nest kitchen website. Now it is a hot mess right now, but I am trying to, and Liz will tell you, it is a hot mess right now. But I am trying to work it through and get it so it's really something, because I think I want to put some eggs in that basket. Yeah. But I've written about, I'll be writing about all the things, but life once it's just you and you have to figure everything out, or you and a spouse or a partner or whatever, because it's a whole different world. It's really different. I have to learn how not to cook for 20 people at all times. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's a mess, but I've written some stuff about the heart attack, and I really do recommend, because ladies do it differently. And I will tell you that I know directly of 3 women that have read my information on what it's like to have a heart attack, who have gone to doctors and all had high blood pressure and they didn't know it.
Wow.
and they all got on medicine, and and it made me feel so good, and those are just people I know. So
Exactly. You never know who you're going to impact, Chris. That's
yeah,
exactly right. Exactly
yeah.
right. So I always like to sort of wrap up with through your life experience and expertise and your place in the world, what 3 things would you share to our audience to do to help them live better?
Oh gosh. Okay. So I have to think about these things, right? Because you really to distill into
Right,
3.
right.
So I have learned in the past year uh, to roll with it. And what I'm trying to focus on is controlling the things I can control and letting the things I can't go, letting it go.
Yeah.
I have a wicked, dark sense of humor. I mean, my brother and I almost got kicked out of the hospital once when my dad was having, feet of his intestines removed. And we were in such hysterical laughter the whole time because we just cut jokes and cut jokes and cut jokes. So I like to laugh. I mean, I have laughed, I've cried, but I've
Right.
laughed a lot about all this stuff.
Mhm.
And then it could be turning 50 or being older than 50, but I have developed so much more empathy.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I'm so much more, I'm less judgy, or maybe quietly judgy now, but I'm less judgy, and I'm more looking at what other people are going through, right?
Yeah.
I'm
Good.
really trying to figure out their motivation. Sometimes I was like,
Mhm.
should have been a psych major. I got a D in psych, but
Yeah.
I'm like, I should have been a psych major. But I think that's it. I think it's like, even with all this drama,
Yeah.
other people are going through it too.
Exactly. Exactly. Well said. Well said. Well, I have to say that my cheeks hurt.
You're
And
so good to me, Liz.
oh, I just adore you. I just adore you. And I'm looking forward, everybody. I will keep you all updated as Chris gets her emptynestkitchen.com. Like she said, it might look like a little hot mess right now, but go there anyway. But I think you'll enjoy reading her writing. It's very witty, very smart, and funny. So I look forward for you, for all of you to follow her as well. So anyway, my dear friend, thank you so much. And we'll catch up again soon.
Thank you so much, Liz. You're the best.
Okay, thank you.